Hi, everybody. It's Dennis, the active trend trader. Are you one of the traders who has a difficult time finding great growth stocks to trade every weekend? Well, we've got the answer. Welcome to How to Make Money Trading Stocks and Options. We're going to cover three things. Our panel of expert traders has picked out three top shelf growth stocks that are setting up and ready potentially to trade next week. Number two, an analysis of the indexes showing which ones are strongest, which ones are weakest, and what the potential is for a move next week. And then we'll also cover another trading problem or issue that you may be having, and we'll provide an answer to that will help you, one, maximize your profits and minimize your losses. So let's get into today's session right now. All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis Wilborn joining me for today's session of How to Make Money Trading Stocks and Options, plus trading tips is Steve Ferreira and Anil Parikh. Guys, we have, I think we have the west side of the United States covered and the east side of the United States covered, and all parts in between.
All right.
Hey, we're looking forward. And so welcome, guys. I'm looking forward to today. One of the things I want to ask the group, and also if you're joining us on YouTube, is how consistent has your trading been this year so far? This market has been a little bit challenging to trade in that it's been kind of whippy and whipsawish, and we're still continuing to get that moving into the last part of June into the first part of July. And so, the thing about it is, if you are looking for a place where you can, if you can get to where you can, we're going to be focusing on, one, making sure that we provide a system that allows you to maximize your gains and your profits and minimize your losses. I've got some good questions in the, and so David is basically, okay, Eric's got going. Eric, you had a question a little bit earlier about Thinkorswim. I too have I trade the, I think I trade the Thinkorswim platform. The Thinkorswim platform through TD Ameritrade. I've been trading that for a long time. I used to be a big Fidelity guy. But Fidelity they weren't friendly to traders. They're great for long and hold, buy and hold kind of guys. But they just, like I said, they did not provide the flexibility. And I traded Fidelity for over 20 years, and then I've been trading the last about 12 years with Thinkorswim, and I like their platform. It functions and works well for me. I don't know, Anil and Steve, what do you trade the Thinkorswim platform?
I do. I like it. I also use TradeStation. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I use Thinkorswim for my analysis. I'm trading on Fidelity.
And so, okay. So you also trade Fidelity?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I like the platform on Fidelity, and then their research is really good. It's just that again, they were very much. They interpret rules. All brokers interpret the rules a little bit differently. So anyway, we can get into a complete discussion, spend an hour and a half talking about brokers and what they have to offer. But we're here to talk about what's happening in the market. As I said earlier, if you want to maximize your profits, minimize your losses, the active trend trading system may be for you. If you want to also put your trades on autopilot, you need to get in touch with me. Drop me an email, and I'll show you how you can do that. And there will be a link in the description down in the YouTube channel, and also a YouTube description about how you can find out more about auto trading system. And so how do we do that? We basically have a tested, proven, clear, and simple system designed to do several things. One, shows you what to buy, what to trade. And I focus on top quality growth stocks and ETFs, when and where to enter, when and where to exit, when and where, and then basically what I'm gonna, what to expect And today's session, what we're looking at doing is doing a real quick market index review. Then we're going to jump into 3 stocks that both Anil, Steve, and myself have chosen going into this week. I know we have, and I'll let Anil share the interesting story that happened with his initial original pick today when we get to that section. So let's go ahead and jump into the session about looking at the indexes, what's happening with them. Remember, traders should always paper trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. Past performance is not an indication or a promise of future performance. So here's where we're sitting as of 2 July. Whenever you have a close of the month, it is a great idea to go in and take a look at your monthly charts, because sometimes your monthly charts will reveal hidden either strength and weaknesses that you may want to consider. You may have a bearish reversal signal on a monthly chart that will play out over several weeks and or months. Or you may have a bullish signal, the start of a really nice bullish signal on a monthly chart, which could lead to jumping on board for a big winner going forward. So as we sit here looking into the first week in June, finishing off the last week in June, first week into July, I'm up about 11.79%. The indexes they basically jumped up to this kind of a gain year to date, but they jumped there kind of earlier in the year, and now we've been kind of bouncing around. Yes, each of the individual markets, with the exception, I think, of the Russell, has gone up to hit new highs for the year, but excuse me, but it's been I guess I'd call it not a struggle, but a work in progress. Let's take a look at the S&P. What's going on with that? And I apologize for the noise behind me. I've got folks working out on all night. We had a real nice break last week, right there. I think that was Friday of last week. Price actions went on up after Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and now we basically have accelerated more to the upside. So for the S&P 500, that's a great signal that strength is coming back, that strength is in the market. At the same time, though, and I'll show you a picture of this. Let me go ahead and grab it. At the same time that this is happening, the market itself is showing some weakness in that the underlying, and I'll go ahead and just grab this, in that the underlying, this is a chart that I like to take a look at on a regular basis, is a percentage of stocks above their 20-day moving average. And this is primarily on the NYSE. But as you can see, the move that's happening in the S&P and the Qs is only happening with 40% of the stocks on that index above the 20-day moving average. That is not a sign of strength. That is a sign that the weighted stocks towards the top, the things like the Apples and that type of thing, that's what's holding the market up. Therefore, oftentimes what happens is as time goes by, if more stocks don't start participating in the move to the upside, what will happen is inertia will take over and eventually pull the market down into oftentimes what can be a violent but it can be fast, but a violent and larger correction. And when I say violent and larger, 10% or more, 10 to 15%. But right now, we have no indication other than a few breadcrumbs out there saying that, to be anticipating anything but moving higher. Right now, S&P is not a buy. I want to see some kind of pullback into the moving averages in order to jump on board. NASDAQ, the Qs. The Qs were basically, they were just defying gravity this whole week. I can't, basically I was looking at, here's this candlestick from last Friday. It was a bearish engulfing of a spinning top, almost a shooting star type pattern. However, it was voided immediately on Monday and prices continued to go up. The anticipation and expectation was a pullback into this uptrend line, which is a steep one, okay? And will probably not, the markets will not be able to continue this steep of a climb. But it can go on longer than you expect. So, don't argue with a quiet market. Also, don't argue with a market that is basically going into a really nice rally mode. We have gone up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 8 out of 10 days. That is somewhat unusual. That's without much of a pullback, or at least a pullback into the 8-day moving average or the 20-day moving average. On this move up, the moving average that the NASDAQ has respected is either the 50, but then from there on, it was respecting the 8-day moving average, not getting to close below the 8 for now, going back to the first part of June. Interesting chart. Then here we go. Now we're going to throw throw up some smoke. Here was last Friday on the Russell and the IWM, right up against resistance, a spinning top doji that confirmed to the downside, dropped all the way down to approximately the 20. The 20 did a nice bounce, but then we're selling off again today. So what do we have? We have 2 indexes up, 1 index down. Now, it is not unusual for the Russell to show some weakness during this time of the year, but we'll see. Will the Russell roll over and come down and test down in this area here at the bottom of the Keltner channel? We'll see. As you can see, momentum really was basically a negative divergence on the momentum. Let me show that to you right here as we're coming up, approaching the past high, and a little bit here on the TSI, and certainly on the MACD. We are basically showing some negative momentum and just really waning momentum as prices kind of move sideways. On the positive side, though, on the Russell, though, what's it doing? It is maintaining the moving averages, the 8 or the 50, the 34, the 20, and the 8 are stacked in the bullish direction. And so, I would favor a long side trade rather than a short side trade, but we may be down here checking and testing in the magic fib box down around the 50-day moving average. I would feel more comfortable if we got down to around the 50-day moving average or halfway in between the 34 and the 50, and then I'd be looking for a potential entry to the long side. So, guys, that's what I'm seeing. Again, strength on both the S&P and the Nasdaq, and then just waning, just not a lot of momentum pushing the Russell. Thoughts?
I don't disagree, and it's a classic. A bull market climbs a wall of worry. There's a lot of reasons to be concerned.
Yep.
Yet you don't trade the market in general. You trade stocks, and you got to manage your trades, and that's all you can do.
Spot on. Anil? What do you think?
I think I completely agree with your analysis. Just wait and see.
So let me ask you a question, guys. If you're going to trade something to the long side right now in this particular time, which of the indexes would you trade to the long side? And
you asking me or Anil? Or
yeah,
anyone?
just which one do you think would be a better candidate favoring the long side with the proper setup. I'm not saying you're going to buy it right
I
here.
I would trade the Nasdaq, the Qs.
Okay.
The strongest of the indices, and the tech area seems to be coming alive.
Yeah.
I would go there.
What about you guys? What about the folks?
Same on with the proper setup, Q's
Okay.
as promised.
Okay. How about you guys? How about the attendees? What do you guys? Which of the index ETFs would you? Same. Okay. It looks like it's unanimous. Okay. So waiting for a pullback in the Qs. Uh-oh. Qs. Okay, it's unanimous. So if everybody's unanimous on the trading the Qs to the upside, so that must mean it's time to short the Qs. No, I'm just joking.
Very likely.
Go for it.
So no, I am not. No. I don't have a reversal signal there. And so, hey, let's jump in and take a look at what stocks we are looking at this week, guys. We're going to do Steve first.
Okay.
Anil is going to surprise us because he's got a story to tell.
Well, I like Moderna, mRNA. It's been in a nice upside trend, bouncing off the 50 period about 2.5 months ago, and that trend is playing out.
Okay.
Getting more stacked and sloped. We're having a very minor pullback. I'm not particularly anxious to take a trade right now. I'm concerned about the market needing a pullback.
Okay.
But this is what I'm watching, and I would take a break above today's high on Monday as a potential entry.
Okay.
But only if the market doesn't roll over.
Yeah. And so that's a great approach for doing that. Again, that would be above today's high. Here is basically this is the low day so far in this move.
Right.
And so, yeah, any type of a move back above the high of the low day, which would be the high of today's day, looks good. Yeah, Steve, I like it.
And I would use the entry day low as my stop. If I did take an entry, it's going to be a tight stop. It's got to be right or I'm out quickly.
Okay. And this one, I like this one. It's got weekly options on it. And when does it have earnings coming up? It's got earnings coming up on?
Soon, relatively soon.
Yeah, 8/4, August 4th. One of the things that I'm glad you picked this one, because I want to point out something to folks, if it's all right with you guys, is we had this breakout right here. And this is where patience is key. About 65 to 75% of all stocks that break out, this is kind of a not quite a classic, pretty much almost a classic, not quite a classic, but a cup with handle type pattern. It gets its breakout. About 65 to 75% of all stocks that do this will get a retest towards the breakout area. Now recognize the words I use. Towards the breakout area. Doesn't have to be to the breakout area. But just being aware of it, because this one broke out then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, 8, 9, 10 days later. Just having the patience, keeping Myrna on your watch list. Or I call it Myrna. I know it's Moderna.
Sure.
And then we get our breakout right there to trade it back to the upside. And very strong signal, but this is a classic. Breakout, run up for several days, pull back to retest, and then resume. And what's Stephen and Neil, what's happening in this pocket right here that's causing this pullback?
Oh, I don't know. And I won't pretend to know, but it's a
on.
pattern that occurs pretty regularly, like you point out. And I think it's some people taking profits, or maybe the big boys pushing it back down for a nicer entry. I don't know.
You're a Wyckoff guy. I mean,
you should. It's a pullback to the breakout. It's a classic Wyckoff pattern. Pull back to the trading range edge.
And another thing I'll point out to you, see this target right here? That's the 1618 extension of the Fibonacci of this move from this high to this low. Oftentimes the 1272, which you can see, it approached the 1272 and started to pull back, but then it busted on through that. Oftentimes those 1272s or the 200, or this is, I'm sorry, this is the, come on.
161?
Yeah, that's the 161, maybe. There we go, 161 extension. That will act as a level of resistance where you can jump on and take some profits off. A lot of people are watching these fibs to be able to, and then the pullback, classic pullback, right to the 20, pow, and away it goes. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, great pick, Steve. I really like it. I agree that it needs a little bit more maturity in its setup, but I think that'd be a good trade. So, okay, Anil, tell us your story.
All right. Last night I picked APPS. Put it up there.
And yesterday I traded it.
Yeah.
Before the close. Okay.
And it just, I haven't figured out why it's crashing today. There must be a reason.
Yeah, because I mean that's a big. Look at the selling volume there.
So volume is up. Everything is up. It's finding a support at 50-day, but with such a big drop, and I don't know the reason.
Right on.
So I'm not going to buy it.
The trend line may be holding, so it may all work out.
Yeah, it might work out.
Yeah,
but,
and Anil, and I agree with you. I would not touch this right now until it shows some reversal on strength, and that's one thing to look at, guys. If and ladies, if you get a candlestick that looks like that, it is saying, "Do not buy me. Do not catch this falling knife until you get a reversal type candlestick to jump back on board." I mean, this may reverse and run all the way up here, but still, you do not have a signal to jump in on the trade. So, Anil, so what are we going to trade this week?
My alternate was Roku, and that still looks good. It's down this week a little bit, but put up the chart and you'll see. Last week it ran up quite a bit.
Yeah, roger that.
And this week has pulled back, but it's still not
early.
below the last week, and I think so.
Okay.
This is one I'm stalking also, waiting for more of a pullback.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, I like it. I mean, what may be going on here, we may do 7 in the first part of well, actually, we had a kind of a IBD double bottom type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There. An alternative entry down here. But right now, it's looking like we're getting a more or less.
Actually, I misspoke. I'm actually in this trade, and it's right at a potential exit or remaining in, just depending what it does around the ADMA.
And so, well, there you go. It's looking like kind of a cup and handle type thing. Where's your entry, Anil?
Entry will be right here. I think there is a support at the ATMA.
Okay.
So
that's right there.
Yeah.
And you would put your stop where?
I usually go with begin with the 7% stop.
Okay, excellent. Let's take a real quick peek here. I want to see one thing here. Where do I want to go? I want to go. And again, I had a really good session chatting with Eric Gallum yesterday, and we were talking about utilizing the fibs. And you can see that this drop right here, price action rolled up and pushed through the 100%, stopped briefly at the 1272 and approached the 1618, and now it's starting to roll back over. So that's kind of interesting. I'm looking at this on the weekly chart. looking like a shooting star, which could set us up for a. I would project, if I was going to do this one, Anil, I would project these two moving averages, weekly moving averages, up to about there, which would be about the 20-day moving average for an entry opportunity. So I like it. I like it a lot better than apps.
Yeah.
Merger rumor, okay, Troy Thomas says merger rumors on Roku, Comcast, etc. may be a speculative reason for the run-up. Okay, cool. And so my choice for the week, guys, is cyber. I'm liking it from the aspect that it is getting I'm getting a little bit of congestion in here, but I've got it's working on and again, this is not a traditional technical double bottom. This is an IBD double bottom, but it's working on the weekly chart there. And it has not bounced up above that level yet to take out, so the alternative entry isn't in place, but it has one in it is working on that. What I'm looking at, I like how the momentum indicators, especially the TSI and the MACD, are starting to shift up. The two shorter term market forecast indicators have shifted up from a 2-line cluster back here. And Shoreline, you get that 2-line cluster, and what happens is within 1 to 4 trading periods, you get a reversal, and that is what has happened. And price actions are stopping where? Right at the moving averages and the downtrend line. So I'll be looking at this one next week. If I break above I could actually put in a trade at about 134.15 or so, or as long as I clear the downtrend line about 133.74, so I'd look at 133.80 or so. That's where I'd want to jump on the trade right now. TSI, and again, longer term, it looks like the momentum on the weekly chart has changed to the upside. So that's what I'm looking at. Thoughts?
Oh, looks good.
When it gets going, it'll be a great trade. It just needs to get going.
And it also has earnings on 8/3/21. So, okay, guys, we thank you very much. We went a little bit longer than we would normally go, but thanks for the exchange, everybody online. And again, if you are watching on YouTube or watching the recording on YouTube, please leave some comments if you want to ask about a particular stock. I monitor those comments, and I'll be glad to address any stock that you want me to take a look at. But don't just put it in a ticker number and say, hey, Dennis, what do you think? You tell me what you think, and then I'll let you know if I agree with it. So,
quick comment on your pick, Dennis.
What?
A Me Too stock is Fortinet. It's breaking out into new high ground. So it could mean the sector's getting into play.
Yeah, FTNT?
Yes.
Yeah, FTNT we traded that earlier in the year. That was my fallback position, but I was looking at it yesterday. Yeah, nice move up. So we'll see.
Yeah.
So, okay, guys, let's go ahead and close out the day. Whoops, I got to close out the day. What am I doing? Oh. There we go. So just remember, hey, if you want to know about the autopilot trading system, the combo is the best deal. It's you'll save a considerable amount. It's well over $150 of actual regular price on it, and you can get that for about $45 for the month. You can find it at that link, and that link will also be placed in the comment section on the YouTube channel. I got to get that out of there because that's no longer happening. So anyway, Stephen and Neil, thank you for your time today. Folks, remember that Monday is a market holiday, And as we like to say, keep growing the egg, trade well and prosper. And aloha, trade well and prosper. Start building now. Mahalo. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And remember.
Thank you, Dennis, and be well.
Okay. Thank you, guys. And remember, enjoy the 4th of July and remember what it's all about. So, subscribe to YouTube, hit the bell, get reminders, and a video will come up here that you can watch while you're enjoying the fireworks. So aloha, God bless everybody.